Yeah, yeah. Hello, Wagwan. Yeah. I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughters. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, we nah know none was slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free, land of the many waters, resources and trees, land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese, land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians, and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana beach breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. View from gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city. Are the hypest, we see them gyal wind up in a some liquor tight dress. We hustle from morning till night catch. Them finno Guyanese, get a youth not like rest. House and car, them finno we like press. Check the bank line them. We not like check. We got gold and diamond, them thing priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the aisle next. GDF, Miami is the finest. I mean I talk about the sugar, nor the rice yet. So a marshal, I drop the Guyanese bomb. For feed the nation, that's the Guyanese plan. Big up a kilo, them with them Guyanese and Guyana. That's where them Guyanese from. People tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. I came from a land, it have many water, many great sons and many daughters. Is we have the land, what many ask for, we never see Katrina or nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, we nah know none was slippy. Guyana, we say big up on no city. Enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Hello, Wagwan. I the nuclear family, every master one up fully. A one-time records, a 592, we think that. Hello, Wagwan.
Hey, yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana. Yeah, yeah. Hello, Wagwan. Yeah. I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughters. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, we nah know none was slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free, land of the many waters, resources and trees, land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese, land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians, and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana beach breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. View from gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city. Are the hypest, we see them gyal wind up in a some liquor tight dress. We hustle from morning till night catch. Them finno Guyanese, get a youth not like rest. House and car, them finno we like press. Check the bank line them. We not like check. We got gold and diamond, them thing priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the aisle next. GDF, Miami is the finest. I mean I talk about the sugar, nor the rice yet. So a marshal, I drop the Guyanese bomb. For feed the nation, that's the Guyanese plan. Big up a kilo, them with them Guyanese and Guyana. That's where them Guyanese from. People tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. I came from a land. It have many water, Many great sons and many daughters. Is we have the land. What many ask for, we never see Katrina or those disaster. I feel nice. We come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we sure them pretty. The man full of faith, we not know none must slippy. Guyana, we say big up on the city. Enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Hello, Wagwan. And the nuclear family, hey master, one up fully. A one-time records, a 592, we think them. Hello, Wagwan.
Hey yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana. Yeah. Hello, Wagwan. Yeah. I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughters. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me no know none must slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free. Land of the many waters, resources and trees. Land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese. Land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians. And Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana, this breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. You from Gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city. Are the hypest. We see them gyal wine up in a some liquor digest. We are hustle from morning till night catch. Them finno Guyanese get a youth not like rest. House and car, them finno we like press. Check the bank line them. We not like check. We got gold and diamond, them think priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the aisle next. GDF, Miami is the finest. I mean I talk about the sugar, nor the rice yet. So a Marshall, I drop the Guyanese bomb. For feed the nation, that's the Guyanese plan. Big up a kilo, them with them Guyanese land. Guyana, that's where them Guyanese from. People tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. I came from a land, it have many water, many great sons and many daughters. Is we have the land, what many ask for, we never see Katrina or those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we sure them pretty. The man full of faith, we not know none must slippy. Guyana, we say big up on the city. Enough people to around the...
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. my country, my home, the only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home, the only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my
Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wide in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Up the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. So grab your coffee, your tea, or toast. With Courdel Jones, we'll give you the most. Livewire, we'll give you the way. To the energy, the beat of the street, the show that connects, it's where people meet. We're wired to your world, we got the news. On Livewire, there's nothing to lose. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour.
Good morning to you, and welcome to another episode of Livewire with yours truly. It is the 27th of March, 2026, and I'm really happy to be here with you this morning. Special good morning to those persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. Special good morning to those persons joining us across the diaspora. And even more special good morning to those persons joining us in the comment section. Please remember to share the live so that we can have the widest viewership possible. And also, we have a very special guest with us this morning, returning after a bit of time under a new portfolio. So this morning, our attention turns to one of the most dynamic and rapidly expanding sectors in our country, tourism, industry, and commerce. Now, what you need to understand is this ministry is playing a central role in Guyana's economic diversification and Guyana's global positioning. But to understand the leadership behind this transformation, we have to understand the track record. Before taking up her current portfolio, our guest served as the minister within the Ministry of Housing, where she played a key role in advancing one of the most aggressive housing drives in Guyana's history. opening up access to land, allowing Guyanese to accelerate their home ownership process, accelerating infrastructure development, and helping thousands of families across this country. Today, she brings that same energy, execution, and results-driven approach to a new national priority. Guyana is no longer flying under the radar. We are seeing unprecedented global interest, growing investor confidence, and a tourism sector that is steadily positioning itself as a major pillar of economic growth. From the return of major cultural activities to the expansion of tourism into the hinterland communities to the arrival of cruise ships at our shore, this is a country stepping confidently into the world stage. And critically, this growth is being managed with a clear focus on standards, sustainability, and ensuring that Guyanese people are the ones who benefit most from these opportunities. At the helm of this effort is a minister who understands both development on the ground and strategy at the national level, bringing experience, continuity, and a clear vision to her role. This morning, I'm honored to welcome on screen the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, the Honorable Susan Rodriguez. Minister, welcome, and thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you, Courdel. It's a pleasure to join you and your viewers this morning. Happy to be here.
Great. So, Minister, let's jump right into it. Guyana is often described today as one of the fastest growing economies in the world. From your current vantage point, how is this growth being translated into real opportunity for ordinary Guyanese?
So thank you, Courdel. I am truly honored to be serving in this Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce. It's a very large portfolio. Most times people see the work that we're doing in tourism because that's very visible and exciting and interesting for the public and for our global viewers. But the commerce side of the portfolio and the promotion of industry and small businesses is equally as important. So I'm sure we'll touch on a little bit of all of that this morning. I've often said, and I do believe, that the tourism industry is one that enormously benefits small and medium enterprises in a country. So when you talk about social development and how Guyana is developing nationally, fastest growing economy in the world, we're about 5 years running now. And when we think about the oil and gas sector, the People's Progressive Party civic government has been adamant and has been saying to the public repeatedly and implementing policies to ensure that Guyana's economy is efficiently diversified. So we're not depending on oil and gas resources alone, but using oil and gas resources as a vehicle to developing our other traditional sectors: agriculture, mining, tourism, entrepreneurship, developing our infrastructure nationally. And all of these bring improved standard of living for Guyanese all across the country, creates jobs, and ensures that our economy is sustainable beyond oil and gas. So that for me, and to be serving in a sector that plays a huge part in our diversification efforts is truly an honor, and I spare no opportunity in speaking about the importance of this sector and its ability to contribute to our diversification efforts every opportunity I get.
Right. Now, Minister, you spoke about diversification, and you also mentioned the fact earlier in your opening statements that a lot of people focus on tourism. So we'll start there. Now, tourism in Guyana is increasingly being positioned as a major pillar of economic diversification. How critical is tourism to Guyana's long-term development strategy?
Well, it's extremely important, not only for Guyana, but for many countries around the world, that view tourism as one of those industries where you can really utilize your country's natural beauty, your culture, your heritage, and the hospitality of your people, and create value from that.
Right.
And so, when the natural resources are gone for any country, or when there are economic shocks around the world, that your country's natural beauty and your people remain, and there
Right.
is value, and there's value to be earned from that through the tourism industry.
Right.
And so we are very pleased that Guyana's tourism industry is increasingly showing promise. Every year, our visitor arrival numbers are breaking the record of the previous year and of the previous months. Last year, we received 453,489 visitors to Guyana shores. That's our 2025 figure. We're very proud of that achievement. It's the highest number of visitors we've ever received.
Nice.
And it also shows that our economy and the tourism industry in Guyana is resilient, because we have been one of those countries that have bounced back phenomenally after the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we continue now to ensure that in the next 5 years that we can welcome 3 million passengers to our shores. A great percentage of that we would like to be visitors to Guyana. The US market is very important to us. It's our highest visitor arrival market. Second to that is the Caribbean. So we're seeing a lot of people from the Caribbean travel to Guyana, a lot of interest in Guyana. As I'm sure you know, Courdel, Guyana's global presence has been increasing, and our country has received a number of awards in the past few months, being listed on Bloomberg's list of places to go in 2026, Time magazine, 26 places to go in 2026, and even our operators are being recognized. We saw recently the Backyard Cafe being listed as one of the greatest places to visit in 2026 by Time magazine. And we have a number of other operators that have received recognition for being sustainable locations. That's our lodges and so on. So our global profile has been expanding, and people are looking to Guyana as a place to go where they can experience authentic and responsible tourism, because that is, and you may have seen news from around the world where there are countries struggling with mass tourism, struggling with how to protect their environment in light of millions of visitors descending on locations and contributing to the degradation of the environment. Guyana's tourism industry is not about that. Guyana's tourism sector will not develop at the expense of our environment. And so we will continue our conservation efforts, as well as continue to expand our tourism industry.
Right. Now, Minister, recently there have been arrival of cruise ships here, and that has generated a lot of excitement. What does this signal about Guyana's growing international appeal?
Yes, so we saw just in the last 6 or 7 months, 2 cruise ships arrive here. Last year, October, we received one, and I think it was just last week. Another one was here. The first one was here for about 24 hours. The second one came and they spent 3 days. So we are very happy when they are here for an extended period of time. That gives the passengers of that cruise ship, passengers and crew, the opportunity to experience Guyana, to go on more tours, to experience our gastronomy and our hospitality, and to see more places in Guyana. So they did city tours. They went to Kaieteur Waterfall, the Kaieteur National Park, and they did several food tours within the
Right.
city. They went to the Mahaika River tour. So they got a view of our biodiversity, our wildlife, birding, and these are all things that are very attractive to a European market and to a niche market. One
Right.
of the challenges that we have in Guyana is that we do not have the ability to welcome those large cruise ships that carry about 5,000 people because we don't have the draft in the river to make those boats accessible to Guyana. But we can welcome the smaller cruise lines, the expedition cruises, the niche or boutique cruises. And so in October, we welcomed about 300 passengers. And the cruise ship that came last week had about 89 passengers. So we can handle that capacity of cruise ship coming here. And we are continuing to invest in the infrastructure, enhance infrastructure at our ports so we can welcome more cruise ships and even larger cruise ships to our shores. You know, we've started
Right.
working on the Parika Stelling there, a new port
Right.
facility there at Parika. There's going to be one in the future in Berbice, so we can welcome more tourists coming. But it's not that Guyana doesn't have a cruise industry. It is evolving and rapidly, I should say, rapidly evolving. And I'm working, I've had a number of conversations, meetings with additional cruise lines who are looking to include Guyana as part of their itinerary, and some that are looking at Guyana to even make Guyana their home. Because with the expanded airlift that we now have here in Guyana, all of these different airlines and routes coming to Guyana, cruise lines are looking to make Guyana their home. So making this the port of embarkation. So we're working
Wow.
with those. We're working with those cruise lines. So this is huge for Guyana. And in a few days, I'll be heading up to Miami so that I can represent Guyana there at Sea Trade Cruise Global, which is the largest meeting of cruise industry leaders in 1 week in April. So I'll be heading there to see and to make some partnerships there with other cruise industries and cruise lines so that we can expand our growing cruise sector.
Minister, I know that the locals have been talking to you about these developments and the spin-off of benefits that they accrue from the arrival of these ships and even passengers that are flying in. Are they happy with the influx of more visitors to Guyana? Are they seeing the financial benefits?
What I can tell you, Courdel, is that the operators in the tourism and hospitality sector are excited and they're fired up. They are ready for this level of action that we're seeing here in Guyana. They have been preparing for years because people in the industry understand that Guyana has huge potential. And they have been preparing their businesses, preparing their own infrastructure and their own investments to welcome the increase in visitors to Guyana. So the operators, the investors, those operating in the tourism and hospitality sector are ready to welcome an increased number of visitors. And like I said at the beginning, the greatest beneficiary of the tourism sectors are small and medium-sized enterprises. So when those passengers come onto our shores, whether it's from a cruise ship or whether it's from an aircraft, they have to utilize our local transportation, which benefits our small transportation providers. They enjoy culinary experiences from a snack it to a 4-star or 5-star restaurant in one of our internationally branded hotels. They need accommodation. They can stay at one of those internationally branded hotels or stay at a resort or even an Airbnb.
I was going to ask you about that.
That is owned
Lots of those now.
by regular Guyanese folks that are either investing in Airbnb or expanding their existing accommodation to expand to create accommodation for the Airbnb market. Our artisans, our local craft makers, they are all benefiting when tourists come here and they want a piece of Guyana, they want to experience our art and craft. These local industries are benefiting tremendously. Our indigenous communities are benefiting tremendously because when people travel to our hinterland locations and they stay at guest houses and lodges that are owned and operated by the indigenous communities, they benefit an entire community. So it's not even just private sector individual. In many cases, the entire communities are benefiting from the influx of tourists in Guyana.
Right. So I wanted to jump to hinterland and community tourism. Now, I see that there's a key focus on expanding tourism in the hinterland, particularly Region 9. Talk to us a little bit about that. And also, how is the government supporting community-led tourism to ensure that the indigenous communities, they benefit directly?
So Region 9 has one of the most developed tourism circuits, meaning that a number of the communities have been offering tourism or have been investing in tourism as a form of their livelihood for some time.
Right.
Other hinterland communities like Region 8 and 7 and so on, they are evolving and we have to work with them. Region 2 is one of those regions also that has an evolving tourism economy and tourism industry. We've recently signed an agreement with the World Wildlife Fund, Sustainable Development Fund, and they are assisting us with expanding the tourism industry in regions 2 and 10. So for the rest of this year, we'll be working with them, and they're working with us to ensure that we build out tourism circuits in regions 2 and 10. In Region 9, like I mentioned, they have a much more developed tourism circuit, but there's still work to be done there in different parts of Region 9. You may have seen I had a meeting recently with His Excellency and some Tushaus from the Deep South. And they are also looking at expanding the tourism offerings in their communities. And so I will be returning on the instruction of His Excellency, the President, to meet with them and to work on a tourism circuit in the Deep South.
Right.
So I mean, our indigenous culture is a marvel, and it is authentically who we are. And I believe that it is something that we can display to the world with pride. And I think that people come to Guyana and they are amazed that Georgetown alone is not Guyana. And so they're always excited to board a plane and to go see the rainforests or to go and experience the savannas. They are always excited to experience new products like the ranching culture that will be displayed at rodeo next week. And so Guyana's tourism offering is so diverse and so interesting to travelers around the world that you can come here and really experience all categories of tourism: sports tourism, luxury tourism, ecotourism, biodiversity, wildlife, an unforgettable culinary experience, rich cultural heritage, and all of these different offerings in the tourism sector. So it's exciting to be leading a sector with this much diversity and with this much potential. And of course, in everything that we do, we ensure that the growth and development is inclusive. So coming back to your original question, building out the tourism sector in our hinterland communities and ensuring that those communities benefit at large, where the entire community is benefiting. Guyana is in fact one of the only countries in the world, Courdel, that has this type of community-owned and led tourism, where entire communities benefit. In some cases, you have up to 80% of the community working in tourism.
Wow. Wow.
So in the communities that offer sports fishing, for example, you have almost everybody in the community, working to build that sector. This is their livelihood. So tourism is extremely important to a lot of communities across the country, and all Guyanese should understand the importance that it plays in the livelihoods of people across our country. And we have to respect the industry and respect the visitors who come to Guyana.
Yeah. Minister, there's so much more I can ask you on tourism, but I want to get to the other portfolios under your ministry. We do have a little bit of time left. Now, beyond tourism, your ministry plays a key role in customer protection. What progress has been made in ensuring fairness and accountability in the marketplace?
Yeah, so we have under the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce several agencies. We spoke about tourism, which is implemented through the Guyana Tourism Authority. We have the Guyana National Bureau of Standards. We have the Small Business Bureau. Many people know the Small Business Bureau and the history of the Small Business Bureau of giving grants and loans to small businesses and working on capacity building. And we have the Department of Consumer Affairs under the ministry and the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission. And they have been working hard to ensure that their work is visible and that people know that consumer rights and the protection of consumer rights are important. We recently celebrated World Consumer Rights Day, and I gave a message about the work that we're doing and that Guyanese can shop and make purchases knowing that their rights are protected. We gave advice that people must ensure that they receive a receipt for all of their purchases, and that vendors have their obligations in these sale transactions, and that people must know their rights. And if they believe that their rights have been infringed in some way, they can come to the Consumer Affairs Commission, lodge a complaint, and we will work with them as long as all of as long as the sale has been done legally, meaning a receipt has been issued, and that we will work with them to ensure that their rights are protected. I did urge the commission to be more visible, because while they do fantastic work, if people don't know they have this means of recourse, or they can come to have their complaints addressed, then we're not reaching as many people as possible and addressing as many complaints as possible. So we are working to enhance our visibility and our presence on the ground. Right now, they're doing some pop-ups across the country, setting up these small pop-ups across the country, sharing information on consumer rights so that the public can be more educated on the rights that they have.
Right. Now, let's look a little bit at investment and the business environment. Investor confidence in Guyana appears to be at an all-time high. What is driving this confidence, and how is the government ensuring that Guyanese businesses are not being left behind as foreign investment increases?
So I always have an easy answer to give when some of the local opposition leaders or politicians want to criticize our economy. And I always say to people, don't take our word for it. Look at the influx of international investors in Guyana and tell me what you think. Why do you think they are here? Why do you think they are paying attention to Guyana? Why do you think they would leave where they are and come to invest their money in Guyana? It's because they are seeing the sustainable growth and development in Guyana. It is because they are seeing that the Guyanese government is making the right investments for the future of Guyana. Nobody invests in a country that is unstable. Nobody invests in a country that does not honor its international contractual obligations. Nobody wants to invest in a country that has chaos and confusion. People come to invest in stable economies. People come to invest in countries where their investments are protected. People come to invest in countries where they have confidence in the government. And so that's one of the easiest things that I can point to say that Guyana's economy is on track and that we're doing well, because there's enormous international interest in our investment climate that shows the confidence in our economy. That's the first thing. The second thing is one that we spoke about already. We are diversifying our economy to ensure that all of the businesses in Guyana, micro, small, and medium enterprises, benefit from the ongoing development and growth in our country. Not everybody can invest in the oil and gas sector. Not everybody has the engineering and technical skills to work within the oil and gas sector. But we can offer all of these supporting services, and we can invest in the industries like agriculture, like mining, like tourism, and fishing, and all of these other industries that support our economy. And all of the services, the service sector, hospitality, restaurants, garbage collection, all of these industries, transportation, rental. And by the way, a lot of these industries are protected under the Local Content Act. And there was an announcement recently where I heard additional industries, about 20 additional sectors will be added to the Local Content Act, areas that will be protected and reserved for Guyanese investors under the Local Content Act. So we're actively working. In some cases where we can legislate, we legislate that Guyanese businesses and enterprises benefit, and we've done so through the local content legislation. And in other cases, we are investing in the diversification efforts of our economy so that our small and medium-sized enterprises benefit. We're investing in training. And that's one of the most important things that we can do as a government, investing in training. And we are doing so through the Guyana Tourism Authority, through the GNBS, through the Small Business Bureau, heavily investing in capacity building, training people to manage their business, training people in tourism and hospitality, in customer service, in financial management, and in the ability to own and run their businesses successfully.
Right.
I should also say that this year we will establish the Guyana Development Bank for small and medium enterprises. That is coming under the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce. $100 million have been set aside for the development of this bank. The legislation is in draft, and as soon as we are completed, we will table this in the National Assembly to establish the Guyana Development Bank, which will give our small and medium-sized enterprises access to $3 million interest-free, collateral-free loans through this bank.
Nice.
With the ability to access an additional $7 million from a private financial institution at preferential rates. So this is $10 million access to financing for small and medium-sized enterprises that did not exist before. This is the type of accessibility that we are investing in to ensure that Guyanese entrepreneurs and that anybody dreaming of starting and owning a business have the opportunity to do so. Apart from the financing, another important aspect of the bank will be in training and capacity building. So we are working in ensuring that we provide the technical skills to those entrepreneurs who come to us, working with them on crafting their proposals and business plans that will allow them or give them a greater opportunity at accessing that loan and accessing the loans at preferential rates at the different financial institutions. So we will be, doing the hand holding, working with our local entrepreneurs to ensure that they can access all the benefits that the government is providing under this industry.
Wrapping up with you, Minister, here, when you look ahead, what is your vision for Guyana's tourism industry and commerce sectors over the next 5 years?
So I want to make sure that we build out a tourism sector that is predictable and one that benefits all areas of our country equally. That, as for any leader, is extremely important. I want to make sure that there is confidence among our stakeholders, those in the tourism and hospitality sector, the private sector. And I want, more importantly, for the tourism industry to create a sense of pride and patriotism among local people. For me, that's extremely important because while we market Guyana to international visitors, I would like for it to create an opportunity for us to feel a reignited sense of pride and patriotism. I'm very proud to be Guyanese. I'm proud of the beauty of my country. I'm proud of the people of my country and our culture and our respect for people from all walks of life, our respect for people of different races, minorities, religious groups. This is what makes Guyana uniquely beautiful. It's what makes us special. And so while we present ourselves on the global stage, I also would like to leave that sense of pride and patriotism with my people for the tourism sector. I would also like to ensure that the business sector is thriving, especially our small and medium enterprises. I would like every little boy and girl that is growing up and thinking about becoming a business owner, that their dream can be realized and that opportunities are carved out within our economy, carved out for those small and medium-sized enterprises. I would like every little girl to know that she can start a business and own a business, or that she can study through the opportunities that are being created in the education sector, free education from nursery to tertiary. I'd like her to know that she can study and that she can one day become a minister in the government or a president or anything that she wants to be. That's the kind of legacy that I would like to leave, and I would like to, the way that these two sectors, tourism and industry and commerce, that's the way I would like to see it really evolve, Courdel.
Yeah. Finally, a message to your Guyanese counterparts, my Guyanese counterparts, about the opportunities being created and their role in this transformation.
So, I've heard people say to me, especially in the first 5 years of government, that their head is just spinning with everything that's happening in Guyana, that Guyana is developing so rapidly. And sometimes it can be difficult for people to navigate where they would like to position themselves to benefit from the opportunities, the new opportunities that are being made available. And it's important to not get caught up in the noise and the social media and the things that distract us from what is really important. And so looking at everything that the government is doing in all of the different sectors, if you look at that objectively, you look at the president, you listen to the president, and you see where the government is investing monies, where the industries that the government is building out and enhancing, you will see where to position yourself. You will know that if you're a young person, you have to study. You have to get training. You have to be certified in your skill. You have to get the degrees so that you can be part of an industry that you are passionate about. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to look for those opportunities that exist, whether it's in tourism, it's in agriculture. You see those opportunities being created there. You have to position
Right.
yourself to be part of Guyana's evolving economy. You have to be honest
Right.
with yourself, and you have to be serious about your intention to really thrive in our economy. And there is a place for everyone, and there's a government in place that will ensure that everybody benefits equally. That's a fact. And so once you have accepted those things as the reality,
Right.
then there is a place for you in this country to add your voice and to add your skill. And even if you're not living in Guyana and you're from our diaspora, there's a place for you too. We have a challenge with labor in our country, highly technical skill labor, manual labor, industrial skills. And so
Yeah.
there are endless opportunities here in Guyana. You just have to figure out where you fit in all of this and position yourself.
Minister, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us this morning. I know that you have to run. Thank you for sharing. Continue your hard work in your new portfolio. I didn't even get to ask you what should we expect with Guy Expo 2026, but we'll talk another time.
I'll come back to talk about that. Yeah, we have a lot of things coming up. We have the 60th anniversary celebrations. We're going to launch that next week. So we'll provide an update to the public on all of the different celebrations and events that will be celebrating Guyanese culture in the month of May. In July, we have the Origins Guyana Fashion Festival returning. We have the One Guyana Worship Experience with some exciting names. I'm really excited to start making some announcements, but I have to hold a little bit. But just to let everybody know that, for the rest of the year, there's so much excitement going on. I welcome people to come to Rodeo also, which is coming up immediately. If you're traveling along the trail, you're going to Region 9, please drive responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Be careful on the roadway. Watch out for other vehicles and wildlife along the way. And be part of this national celebration of our culture and our heritage. So thank you, Courdel.
Thanks again, Minister. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Take care. You too.
That was the Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, the Honorable Susan Rodriguez, talking to us a little bit about tourism, industry and commerce and where it's going in Guyana. As Minister would have highlighted, our tourism sector is constantly growing and evolving. Likewise, investor confidence in Guyana, customer protection, it's all moving forward. We may not be where we want to be exactly as yet, but definitely we're making steps in the right direction. Guys, I got to get out of here. I was planning to address this dengue thing this morning, but as I told y'all before, I don't like to taint the ministers when they come to your presentation with my rants. So I'll close it off there. I'll see you guys on Monday. On Monday, we have Minister Sonia Prague will be here, Minister of Education, to talk to us a little bit. And a little later in the week, next week, we have Minister Sarah Brown. We'll announce that day once we get that confirmed, right? That's it for me this morning. Again, thank you guys for being here. I really have to run. I have some important things to go and deal with. But once those get started, we'll fall back into the natural course of things, right? Thank you so much. Please be safe on the roadways. I can't tell if it's raining. The studio got no windows, but please be safe on the roadways out there. Look out for those who are not looking out for you. Please, I can't go without this. So let's go.
They're trying to stir up some trouble to instigate people and to cause anxiety. What if you don't have a bank account? I want to say definitively to my Guyanese brothers and sisters that nobody will be denied their cash grant. Nobody will be denied their cash grant on account of the fact that they do not have a bank account. If you do not have a bank account, in the first instance, we encourage you to have a bank account. But if you decide that you don't want to have a bank account, or for some other reason you don't want your cash grant paid into your bank account, we will work out an arrangement and devise a mechanism for you to get your cash grant. So you do not need to worry. And I want to put that issue to rest, and I want to say definitively, because I've seen a lot of online chatter on this issue too, and perhaps I understand why. It has been said before very clearly, but I'm going to say it again now, that nobody will be denied their cash grant because they don't have a bank account. That is not a required criterion for you to be able to get your cash grant.
Good. So everybody that been calling and asking about the bank account stuff, you heard it directly from the senior minister within Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, that if you got a bank account, they can put a mechanism in place that can ensure you get a cash grant. Realistically, though, because some Guyanese, some Guyanese, realistically, though, you must understand that because your process differs from the established process of paying out the grant, you will not receive your grant as fast as others. So right now they're doing the registration with people in bank account. Probably when they're halfway through that, they'd figure out, okay, how we gonna get these people to start out, whether they're gonna come in or whatever they're gonna do, or however the checks they're gonna write, or whatever it is, where you gonna collect, how you gonna collect, how they gonna get to the regions, because people in the regions might have got a bank account and them kind of thing. So please don't be on social media complaining, oh my gosh, grant, with my cash grant, with my cash grant. And you know you got no bank account to facilitate the process fast, right? They will get to you eventually, right? Good. Please, I hope everybody listening that was asking me about cash grant thing, right? Good. The portal is up and running, right? It's not that fake thing that you were seeing the other day. So please, if you are able, you understand how to use smartphones and PCs and those kinds of things, register for your cash grant. I think it's 10 days after you register, it's deposited in your account. So there are no long lines anywhere, no long line at no bank. You remember the last cash grant who went on? You remember the last cash grant who went on? You remember when this guy there from Linden? I think it's Courdel Marshall, the highlighters. Courdel Marshall in highlight when he tried to jump the cash grant line and get he ID to somebody. He did it in the back. Look, cash grant does cause no problem. Behave yourself. You go into your bank account. Everybody be cool. Guys, I out here. I really got to run. I really got to run. As I usually say before I go, it's all about peace. It's all about love. It's all about one.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all